An open mind and open heart bring lots of choices to us. So today and this week in our from 12:6 to 12:12, we're talking about the energy for the whole week on our Wealth Expansion Weekly. Hi, I'm Kristen Vallis, and I am your quantum numerologist, wealth expansion, and brain game coach. And I'm here to talk about the weekly energies, and we are feeling a lot of change rising up today. We made some big decisions at the new moon last week with that solar eclipse, and there were a lot of shifts happening around that, big energies, and choosing to step into a new timeline, into a new life as we move forward into 2022. And so, with those decisions come changes. The universe responds as we make decisions and we set our intentions. The universe moves things around in order to bring those intentions about. And we're feeling that movement today and this week. And there can be things coming up that may either be perceived by you as triggers or synchronicities, depending on how you choose to look at them. And the wisdom that comes in today and this week with this Queen of Clubs contract that's coming in today with the 5 energy, this spiritual growth, the opportunities for growth are abundant this week. But you also have learned so much. That's what the Queen of Clubs is saying, you know. So this week we want to be able to make some time, carve some time out. Today's a good day if you can do it. Tomorrow would be great as well. But anytime this week, making some time to reflect on your year and looking at how much you've changed, how much you've grown, how much you've expanded, even if it doesn't look exactly the way you wanted it to, or even if you haven't come as far as you had hoped you would, whatever the situation is, really offering yourself that self-love, that compassion, and embracing how much you have changed, really acknowledging yourself, because this year was not easy. And, you know, I really don't think it was easy for any of us. Welcome if you're here on the live or on the replay, and let me know in the comments how you've been experiencing the energy. I have been, you know, this whole year has been tough for all of us, I think. And I don't think anyone would argue with that. The past 2 years have been really challenging, and this is all for our spiritual growth and expansion. It's all by design. There's no accident to this. And so really giving yourself that, you know, that the Queen of Clubs is like Mother Mary, so that motherly love, that unconditional love, giving yourself that, and you know, allowing yourself to really reflect and go, wow, like I have changed a lot and I have grown a lot, and things look completely different now than I thought they were going to look at the beginning of the year. I'm doing different things than I thought I was going to be doing at the beginning of the year. You know, pretty much everybody's plans have changed. And so, you know, really looking at that, and you know, change can be really challenging for us. We're human beings, and human beings generally don't like a lot of change. And yet it's a constant of life. And so one of the things that we were growing into and expanding this whole year, and will be continuing to do this week, is that getting comfortable with change and really acknowledging that this has not been easy. And so, you know, giving yourself credit for what you have allowed yourself to flow with and change with and move through and grow into and expand. And looking at when you do that, when you see how far you've actually come, and you see, wow, that I didn't even think I was capable of that, that switches on something in the brain. It opens up the brain up here, where you're out of the fight flight nervous system and you're into the area, the realm of possibilities. When you open that up, you can see more about what's possible. You can see lots of opportunities in front of you, and opportunities are so abundant all the time, but particularly this week we're going to be presented with so many opportunities, and they will feel either like triggers or synchronicities. Example, this morning I had my whole day planned to, you know, spend quiet in reflection, writing, journaling, planning things. And it turned out that today is the day that the gardeners decided to trim all the trees and all the shrubs, and they're going to be here all day, and they're putting, they're with all of their tools and making really loud noise, and there's branches dropping on the roof and like all this stuff, right? So clearly I'm not going to get the day that I wanted if I stay here, and I really don't have a whole lot of places that I think I can go. And so this is where, I had to choose, okay, am I going to change what I wanted to do today, or am I going to look for another place to go where I can have some peace and quiet? And at first I was annoyed. I'm like, oh, this is like, it couldn't be worse timing. And then I realized, like, but this is the energy today, right? This disruption is coming in to say, maybe you need to change some things up. You chose a new life path last week. What needs to shift here in order to move into that new life more fully? And so, for me, it was like, okay, well, what are my choices here? Because I can't change what's happening around me. I can't change my environment. So how can I roll with this? How can I, instead of resisting it and being annoyed and whatever, and it really is challenging to think straight with all the noise. They're on lunch break right now, which is why this was the perfect time to do the video. But like rolling with those changes. And so, I have a couple of options open to me now because I started to look into what's possible. Okay, where can I could go to the park and work there. It's a little cold outside to do that, but I could do that. I could, change up what I'm going to do today and, focus on some things that I was going to do later that, require less quiet, and then, do the quiet stuff later on. So, I've come up with some different options for myself to kind of roll with what's happening in my environment. And then the other issue that keeps coming up for me around this, and maybe you've been experiencing this with this energy too, is, and I think you have, because the whole theme of this eclipse was learning to let go of what's happening on the outside, whether it's with relationships or, something environmental, and pulling what you need from within. And so really being able to know that you have everything within you. You don't need to try and control your environment, and I know I've been presented with this many, many times this year, this awareness of where I've been trying to control my environment so that I feel okay. And so, we're being asked again this week, are you seeing things around you that are, triggering that with you, with whether it's, something happening around your home, or or your workplace, or if it's, changes that are happening in your work that you're doing, or things changing in your relationships, or maybe you're realizing that certain relationships are toxic to you, or there's all kinds of possibilities of how this can be presenting in your life. But the big overall message is about this, trying to control other people, trying to control our environments, trying to control everything around us so that we feel safe, whether it's, physically safe, like in terms of health and all of that, or if it's mentally safe, having that peace and quiet, emotionally safe, being able to control how and what people say to us, or what we'll share with other people, or all of that, and spiritually safe as well. Are you allowing yourself to expand spiritually? Are you allowing yourself to get quiet and go within and and explore things in other realms? Are you willing to learn about new things that would expand your spiritual understanding and growth? So all of these things, right, are calling to us to be aware and to be willing to shift and make changes to how we've been doing things, and really letting go of trying to control stuff and more be in the flow. And this has been the lesson all year. How will you be in the flow? Because change is a constant of life. Change is always happening. And especially now at this time in history, massive change is just part of what we're experiencing, and it's changed to extreme levels like we've never experienced before. And so when we're looking at that amount of change, that level of change, how can we be more loving with ourselves? How can we be more compassionate with ourselves? And then take that out into the world to others as well, to allow ourselves the space and compassion to, see when we're being triggered, and take that feedback and collapse that trigger, turn it into a synchronicity, turn it into an opportunity for growth and expansion, and shifting how we feel about it, and turning it into a positive instead of a negative, turning it into an opportunity that we can actually leverage, right? Because it all has to do with our perspective on things, and choosing the way we want to feel in different situations, and choosing what we want to make of it. It is about making that lemonade, but it's more than that, because if you shift your mind to how you're even perceiving the lemons in the first place, and looking at the abundance of lemons coming into your life, that how many different things could you do with this abundance of lemons besides making lemonade? What else can you make with it? What else can you do with all of it? All of the different applications for lemons. And this is a great metaphor for really opening the mind up to opportunities. Like lemons can be used for cleaning, lemons can be used for so many things, so for air freshening and all this stuff. So there's so many things. And so when we open up our minds and become willing to see these things that have been irritations or upset us or trigger us in the past, and they're being presented to us this week, it's like, okay, what are you going to do now so that this matches up with the new life that you want to experience? This matches up with your new big vision, with the new timeline that you want to be on, and making those adjustments, being willing to do that, and being loving and compassionate with yourself in the process. And I think, by the end of the week, this is really too about leaning into your intuition. You know what you need to do next. And this is where I say, when you reflect on the year and see how much you've grown so much intuitively, in terms of trusting your intuition, in terms of being connected with your intuition. And so this is a great week to really kind of show off to yourself of how much you really can trust yourself, and trust that intuitive nudge every time it comes in to tell you which way to move with things. You're being presented with choices. Now, what do I choose? And leaning into that, understanding that decision making is your superpower. Decision making is the way that you experience more peace, more freedom, more ease, more harmony, more bliss and joy in your life. And it's when you choose, because you're taking responsibility, and you know that at any point you can choose differently. So if you're not enjoying the fruits of your choice, then you can always make a shift. And this is the beauty of when we start taking responsibility to choose our life instead of reacting to life as it happens to us. Because really, whether we're being proactive or not, we are choosing. Not choosing is making a decision too. And I think that's something that gets missed often, is that, even if you're not actively making a choice, that is a choice. So hope this helps you navigate the week a little bit. Trust yourself. Know that you're going to be presented with a lot of opportunities. See the opportunities. Be open to the opportunities. Feel the opportunities in your heart space, and trust that intuitive knowing of which way is the way to go. And you'll come out of this week just completely shifted and well on your way to creating a 2022 that you're going to just absolutely adore. So I thank you guys for joining me live and on the replay. Let me know in the comments if this message resonates with you, and if I can be of any help to you this week while you're navigating this. So thanks for joining, and I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.